Hustle Report with Jason Malone, presented by Clicks Media.
Now here's your host.
Now I want to talk about the importance of having VAs or virtual assistants as a part of your business. Now, when I first started my business, I was trying to do, everything myself. And from time to time, I would bring people on, different people that I knew that were younger and in college to try to help me with my business. I would ask friends and people that I knew that had some extra time that were looking to get into something entrepreneurial that could help me do different little tasks to help me scale my business. Now, I tried this for a year and a half, 2 years, just parsing out jobs to different people, and I realized I needed to create a system around, the type of people or the type of freelancer that I needed to help me with my business. And that's when someone made me hip to the whole concept of a virtual assistant. Now, I first heard this, I'm like, so what? This is someone that you never have access to and you kind of interact with virtually, and yes, somewhat truth to that. However, it's basically just having a remote employee, someone that you can keep tabs on, and you can use different platforms such as Fiverr or Upwork, or they have other virtual assistant platforms that are out there, but those are the two that I use the most. And you can get these freelancers that have availability for an extended period of time, and you can have them help you with different tasks for your business. And I promise you, ever since I added a virtual assistant to my business, I really started to see my business take off. I was getting out of my way, and I wasn't spending as much time on some of the small administrative things that are still important. However, it was taking away from my ability to continue to generate sales and to scale my business. So once I offloaded those administrative things to my virtual assistant, such as responding to customer requests and customer service emails that have more of a template cookie cutter response, or just keeping up with just some of the nuanced, smaller things that aren't necessarily focused on, the revenue-driven aspect of my business, but are still important. Once I offloaded all those things to the virtual assistant, that's when I really started to see things take off, because I was able to be more productive. I was able to be more thoughtful, more strategic, more focused on the vision and the direction of my business, and less on the minutia, some of the details, such as responding to individual customer requests or responding to emails where customers are looking for their order, they can't track their order. All things that are important, but these aren't things that I should necessarily be doing myself if I'm trying to grow my business. Now, I read a book some time ago called The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. And Robert Kiyosaki is the same author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the world-renowned book that for me was one of the keys to sparking my interest in entrepreneurship. But specifically in the cash flow quadrant, he talks about being a small business, being an employee, a big business, and an investor. And he puts these into a quadrant. And the quadrant represents where you sit on the spectrum of your business or your entrepreneurial journey. And most of us are trying to move from employee to small business so that we can feel a level of accomplishment. You move to the S quadrant, which is what small business represents, right? And so you move to the S quadrant. However, a lot of us get stuck in the S quadrant because we don't implement the necessary tactics that are required or strategies that are required in order for us to scale our business. And so when I started my business, I was thinking that I was just going to continue to grow my business until I moved to the B quadrant, which represents big business. However, I quickly learned that one of the hurdles to me getting to the other quadrant was actually getting out of my own way and for me to stop being the bottleneck in my own business. And one of the ways for me to stop being the bottleneck in my own business is to start to hire virtual assistants that can focus on the minutia, the details of the business, so I can continue to focus on sales, strategy, marketing, hiring, the big picture things that were actually going to move the needle for the revenue in my business. Now, two of the platforms that I got hip to in order to help me start to scale virtual or hire virtual assistants is number one, Fiverr, and the second one is Upwork. Now, I use both of these platforms, but I use them for two different reasons. Fiverr is more of a kind of a gig or task-oriented platform. So if you're looking for something that should not take too much time, it's really a short-term task. Maybe it'll take a few days to do, a couple of weeks. Then Fiverr is great for that, because typically it's you pay by the task. The freelancer gives you an estimate of how long that task will take. You pay up front through the Fiverr platform, and then those funds that you pay are held in escrow, and they're not released to the freelancer until you receive delivery of the task and you actually approve and rate the task. So there's a built-in level of protection to help you as the entrepreneur that's looking for the task, or business owner that's looking for the task to be completed. And then there's an accountability that's placed upon the freelancer to make sure that they actually complete the task to your approval level before they actually receive the funds. So I like Fiverr for the more short-term projects, but for the longer-term projects, I typically go with Upwork. Upwork, it's a little bit different in terms of how you hire the freelancer, in this case, the virtual assistant. And so if you're looking for something that's going to take, upwards to a month or even longer or ongoing, what you do is you establish a contract with that freelancer through the Upwork platform. And I like Upwork because, it allows for me to establish continuity with the freelancer and really develop a relationship with them, and makes it feel like they're more a part of my company and the day-to-day flow of what I'm doing. So, I have two levels or two types of virtual assistants that work with me. At this point, we're probably north of 10 different virtual assistants working on different things for our business. But for those that are more so on the day-to-day, customer response, client support, responding to the day-to-day requests that are necessary for the business, that's what I typically use Upwork for on the longer term contracts. But for those more one-off requests, I might need some research done, or I might need some graphic design or something like that that's not going to necessarily be ongoing. I'll use Fiverr for that platform or for that type of task, because it's easy for me to get the task, pay for the task, and kind of be on with it. So yeah, the difference there for me is definitely in the continuity. I use both, but depending on the need is kind of how I decide. Now, I can't stress enough how much these virtual assistants have helped us scale our business. I mean, it's just crazy how much time I was able to carve back to focus on other areas of my business that were really going to help us move forward. And that's the sales, that's the marketing, that's the strategy, that's establishing strategic partnerships with organizations that are going to help us kind of move from 0 to 1, or that 1 + 1 = 3 type mantra. That's what I've been able to focus on since I've pulled myself out of the weeds of the business. Now, the whole management process has been a journey for me, because you have, as an entrepreneur, when you first start out, you have all these things in your brain, and the whole business is in your head. But the process of bringing on people to help you actually helps you get better organized, because then you have to figure out how to disseminate the information to arm the people that are working with you so that they can be just as effective as you are. So if everything is just sitting in your head, That's how people end up staying in the S quadrant as a small business, because they're trying to do all of the work. But in order for you to move to the B quadrant to become a big business, you have to start to empower people with the information and tools to help them, achieve the job. And so that process of organizing the information in my head so that I can give it to someone else in a way that it makes sense to them so that they can do their job effectively has been a great learning process for myself. It's helped me become a better manager, and it's helped those that are working with me, it's helped to arm them with what they need in order for them to be successful. Because no one wants to, be in a situation where, they feel as though they're not being armed with what they need, yet they're being criticized on the value of their work, when the reality is the reason why they're not doing a good job is because they don't have all the information that they need. People do not like being in that position. They like to feel as though they're getting all that they need to help them be successful. And so the more that you organize yourself on the front end, with regards to the tasks that you want done, how you want it to be done, and providing that clarity and vision to the freelancer, then it helps them to better do their job. You as an entrepreneur, you're a salesperson within itself. You have to sell your business. You have to sell your vision through to your team. And you also have to kind of constantly sell yourself and sell the rest of your team on your leadership capabilities. And so part of that sales process is just being organized and thoughtful, and being strategic, and having clarity in how you communicate those things to those that are around you. So my advice to you is, if you're just getting started out, you're trying to figure out which direction to go and how to scale your business, definitely take some time to organize yourself, organize your thoughts, the direction that you're trying to go, outline your strategy, and then go and find yourself a virtual assistant that can execute on the smaller tasks, the detailed tasks that aren't necessarily what you should be spending your time on, but are still important to the business. They still need to get done. But, these are the types of tasks that if you spend all your time working on, you're actually not going to be moving forward in your business. Identify what those things are and find a virtual assistant to help you with that. If it's research, if it's short-term oriented, something that's only going to take a few days, you could use a platform like Fiverr. But if it's someone that, you want to have working on an ongoing task, this is someone that you want to have fully ingratiated into your business, I think Upwork is a great platform for that. And you can go outside of these platforms. They have tons of them out there, but I personally like these two because of the infrastructure that they've built and how clean their payment systems are. And it's just very easy to track and monitor the work quality coming across the platform. So as an entrepreneur, definitely hire VAs. It's one of the amazing things that it's just really cool to have available to us in this day and age. 15, 20 years ago, you didn't have the same tooling to scale your business, but nowadays, you can truly scale your business from your house, from your kitchen table, by having an army of VAs out there working, executing for you, working while you're not working, and still getting things done and moving the ball forward. All right, guys, hopefully that was helpful for you. We appreciate you tuning in with us today here at the Hustle Report, and we'll see you on the next episode.